it's amazing to make six figures on social media. It's amazing. Regardless of your following, the fact that you can make six figures
Major.
is major. And that doesn't need to be downplayed just because of somebody's following account. But since we're talking about content, Forbes came out with a whole brand new list, okay? The top creators of 2022, right? 2022? Yep, 2022. Came out. And when I say big numbers, okay? Of course, number one is Mr. Beast. Of course, right? He made, what, 54? Let me look. $54 million, right? Of course, we have, was it Charlie, what is it, D'Amelio? D'Amelio. I think that's how you say it. That's how you say
Sounds
it?
about right. I'm not sure.
All right, y'all know I'm
well.
bad. I'm bad with names, but I'm working on me. Okay, I'm working on me. 17.5 million, right? And they have, like I said, 49 creators on this list. The great thing about it is that it breaks down. Yes, they make their money off of TikTok, off of YouTube AdSense, off of Instagram, but a lot of them have their own businesses, right? And that's the important part when you do read this article, if you do, that when you hear these high numbers like 54 million or whatever, it's not just YouTube. It's Mr. Beast has a restaurant or a restaurant model. Well, he now does have one that he opened in Jersey, right?
Yeah, it's like a restaurant chain, basically. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he has candy. He has merchandise. He has a whole bunch of things, right? However, Forbes did some interviews, and there was one person that interests me that I was like, "Yo, you didn't have to throw shade." This is my honest opinion. Okay, so I think everybody knows her as Lynja, but it's Lynn Yamada Davis. Just really wanted to say Lynn Davis, but I'm trying to be better, right? She has 16.6 million followers. Engagement rate 4.47. They said she has the highest engagement rate on the list, but she's supposedly only making $170,000. With that amount of following, Forbes was actually like trying to throw shade, like, that's all you're making. Why are you only making this? But
Yeah.
listen to it, and I want to talk about it.
Part of this list has been collecting earnings, and for someone with 11 million followers, your earnings are relatively low. We're estimating that your earnings are about $158,000. That's relatively low for someone with your follower count. Can you talk about this?
Well, we do it for fun. We really do it for fun. And the earnings we make is really just to sustain Cooking with Lynja, to pay for expenses of food and a little bit for travel. So that's what I think of it as.
Now, can we say, first off, I don't know if I mentioned it, she's 66 years old. 66 years old, making 100 and something thousand off of TikTok, a platform that is normally for kids.
Mm-hmm.
How dare Forbes tries to shade and be like, yo, you're making the least. I don't need this money. I'm 66 years old. I lived a whole life. I've made my money. This is chump change. Like, clearly, before, you know what happened before TikTok? I was still living. I was good. I had a whole life. What are you talking about? My life doesn't go around TikTok and making a whole huge earnings. I made my earnings. So I found that semi disrespectful on some, you have 16 million, you only make this? I'm curious. Broad,
Right.
sit down. She is a grandma on TikTok. What does it matter? Why does it what are you talking? Find out her. It could have been placed so differently. It could have been
No, I
like,
agree.
yeah, it'd been like, yo, you have 16 million followers, right? And according to the earnings, it says you make 100 and something thousand. I would love to know your business structure. What is it going? How, how are you making it? I would love to. No shade. People will hear that, okay, that's a little low for 16 million. We would think you'd be rolling. But
Right.
how are you going to disrespect? I
Yeah.
didn't like that. Two,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to give it to you. Two, the fact that somebody could still, and I don't know if it's because of it's an older generation, but the fact that you could be okay just showing up and not really with like, oh, I'm doing this literally for the money. Like she legit loves it. Like there is still people that are on creating social media content because they just love it. This is not always a business. Now that the fact that it can be a business is amazing. And we must take advantage of that because that was not given in the past generations, right? So maybe even the lack of that knowledge for her is maybe a reason why she isn't making more because she didn't come from that era. So she may not be all in tune or really willing to do this and do that just to make an extra coin because she's made her coins. But let's not pass that she was just excited to just have a following and excited to make some type of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
She probably
Hey.
never thought 16 million people would follow her.
Hey, Lynja, you heard the question, the way it was positioned. If you'd like to come on our platform for an interview, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, we appreciate what you're doing. So please feel free.
Listen,
Have your people reach out to our people. We'll set this thing up. Yeah,
I
we'll
would,
do this the
I
right
would
way.
love that. I would
Yeah.
absolutely love that because I just felt that was very shady.
No, I agree
And
with
we
you
don't,
on
we
that.
already don't agree with Forbes sometimes.
I know. Back to the Kanye conversation.
Right.
But yeah. Nah, but I will say this, man. I think just the question alone, it shows you how shallow some of our generation is becoming. Right? It's like, oh, you only make $160,000? Let's really open this up. Do you understand how much money that is? Forget the world for a second, because there are people who, if you gave them $50 a month, they would live pretty good in different parts of the world, right? In America, there are people who don't make $160,000 in 5 years of work, let alone 1 year of work, right? So I love the perspective of her response because she's letting you know, I just enjoy this. This is not a business, but I don't want to do it and come out of my pocket.
Right.
Bare minimum, I should be doing it in a way and having my efforts pay for what I'm doing. You know, it reminds me of a lesson that Josh Hatch used to always talk about openly and kind of shared with me. He says a lot of people are better off making $70,000, $80,000 and not going into 2, 3, 4, 500 or even $1 million because of the lifestyle change that amount of money comes with. A lot of people think that you can go from making $60,000 a year to making $500,000 a year, and everything in your life is going to stay exactly the same.
Right.
It's not. Your demands are going to increase. You're going to have more pressure, probably more stress, right? Unless you're super strategic with how you scale from $60,000 to $500,000 a year, and you built it in a very unique way so that it doesn't, explode and come with all the extra turmoil that it often does. For some people, it's not worth it. So I appreciate the discipline of someone who has a good amount of experience on this world and is telling you, no, this is what it is for me, you know? And I appreciate her also keeping a calm demeanor in how she was responding. Lynja, we got a little upset for you. You know what I'm saying?
I was upset. I was upset.
We got a little upset, but not.
I was like, that got to be on the podcast. We got to talk about it because it's amazing to make 6 figures on social media. It's amazing. Regardless of your following, the fact that you can make 6 figures is major. And that doesn't need to be downplayed just because of somebody's following account. Yeah. Like it doesn't. Like that means they may have not expanded all the different streams that they could do. Maybe they just rely on TikTok. Maybe they just rely on YouTube. They don't have to go and create their own business, their own businesses and things like that. Like what we've realizing is that, I had these stats that we were supposed to talk about, but we have so many things. Man, may have to do it on one of these after shows, but there are now creators that are turning into business owners, but that's still a small percentage in itself, right? And it's funny because I saw in the report that Adobe put out that only 23% of the world are creators. Now, say like that call themselves creators, right? Now, say what you want. You can be like, no, everybody, I believe everybody's a creator. But people who honestly call themselves that is 23%. And then less of that are creators that are wanting to turn into business owners. Some just want to stay content creators. She clearly just wants to stay a content creator. But it shows, you can love what you do and make 6 figures. Yeah. Like stop and I don't know if you guys have it on your timelines as far as now the new language is 7 figures and 8 figures, and so 6 figures is just nothing anymore. No. 6 figures is still a lot to some, right? I'm not saying stop there, but I'm saying let's not downplay making 6 figures off of creating content. Let's not do that. That wasn't possible before. That's still sometimes impossible for some. This is a fact. Now, can you make more? Absolutely. With the proper team, with the proper creative ideas and the platforms, absolutely. Right? But all of these people that have made millions of dollars from content creation have teams, have done some type of deals, right? Are not doing it alone. Have been collaborating in multiple ways. So I'm going to get off of it because, like I said, I was a little upset and I wanted to not downplay making 6 figures in content because that's not something small.
It's not. And it's no easy task either. Like, let's be real.
Nope.